Welcome, everyone. I'm joined by our CEO, who is located at our Center of Excellence in Panama, with lots of activity going on behind you. I see the scissor lift going down. What's happening over there?
Well, another milestone. Of course, we're always set up here to operate during the day, free daylight coming in through the ceiling, through our diffusion panels. But in Panama, light goes down at 6 o'clock every single day, up at 6, down at 6. So we're adding our high efficiency LEDs into the warehouse like we have in our Sprout AI units that will allow our teams to carry on post shift and more importantly, line us up for an evening shift, and then as we planned, the night shift. That's 3 shifts of assembling for Sprout AI units. We'll be able to obviously to triple our capacity of what we're assembling right now.
Very good. Now, there's been lots of activity outside of the Center of Excellence as well. We have a new ticker symbol.
We do. So following, of course, our tagline Beyond Farm, we, of course, now have our ticker, which is BYFM, which is unique. It's not found on any other exchange anywhere in the world and was a welcome replacement to our older SBRT ticker symbol.
That's right. And there's also been a lot more progress happening on the business front too, because as it was before even the pandemic started, once the pandemic started, and then also before we were seeing some volatility in the market, it's been business as usual for us, carrying on the same meetings and having new meetings as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, of course, we are ramping hard to the end of the year, and we want to hit Q1 with full force and effect. One of the things that we had addressed very early in Q1 of this year was the fracturing of international supply chains. And for that, we made a very conscious decision to find not just 1 or 2, in many cases 3 or 4 vendors of very critical component parts for all that we do. So for example, our Sprout AI Unit 1s, our version 1s, are being steadily replaced by our V2s as we've got them here for full demonstration now. And in that is different vendors for the rack, different vendors for the tent, different vendors for the dehumidifier, different vendors for the air handling cleaning units, different vendors for the brain, which is the AI portion of it, which are the PLCs, which everyone is struggling to get their hands on these days because of the shortage of computer chips. Well, thankfully, our operation team led by Kyle Horak identified that very early in the year, together with Carlos Zapata, who's the head of the assembly line, to say, you know what, let's get ahead of it. Let's secure good vendor agreements from those markets and jurisdictions that are less impacted by some of the pandemic and supply chain issues, and secure that volume early. And now, thankfully, that volume is beginning to arrive. So with the new lights now, and obviously, as I say, multiple vendor supply to build our inventory base, we're heading into the year exactly where we want to be coming through November. So good to the team. They did it. And that's another milestone for us.
Amazing. Definitely great news. And we've also been working pretty diligently on our marketing efforts too.
Well, spoiler alert, for those of you who don't want to hear all the stuff coming, put your hands on your ears. Colleen, you've worked hard with the marketing team. For those that do want to hear what's coming down the pipe, go ahead.
Yeah, so as our investors know, we love to be able to communicate directly with you guys. And part of our marketing efforts is to give you the inside scoop as to what's happening at the Center of Excellence and also the business itself. So over the next little while, we are going to be highlighting key employees and personnel who are helping to further the business, the people who are really helping to support and also expand it to what it is going to be in the future. So make sure that you're staying tuned, because you're going to get to see behind the scenes with those people. In addition to that, we also have our third-party research report that's coming out. It's a really cool report because it not only highlights exactly what's happening in the space of vertical AI technology for farming industry, but it also highlights our technology and how it fits in and how they believe it is also going to change the scope of the future. So make sure that you are tuning in for that as well. And then last but not least, we've got educational content coming out. What's really great about that is you guys are going to get to see behind the scenes more so about the technology that is being created, but also have an understanding as to how big this industry is poised to be, not just next year, but 3 years from now, 5 years from now. So a lot of really great things that's coming through the pipeline for you guys to get tuned into over the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And do stay tuned. We do have a lot to follow and a lot to come as we are sprinting to the end of the year, making effectively 2022 the best year on record for us. Thank you all for supporting us. As we went through the change of the ticker symbol, our team, of course, performed exceptionally admirably through that. But what I really appreciate were, of course, the telephone calls, the texts, and the emails that came through. And Colleen, you forwarded many of those to our other members of our team, even to our board of directors. But thank you for everyone who both helped our team get through this transition period to a new ticker, and more importantly, really showed the strength of our investor base. That was phenomenal. Thank you.
Now we've had some really wonderful feedback. Now, Chris, I always like to end off with asking a question of you. And today I want to ask you, what is it that you think differentiates us from our competitors? What makes us special?
Well, adaptability. At the end of the day, being agnostic in everything we do. As I said, we're one of the few who are plant agnostic. We can grow what we want to grow. In the effective tool that we built that can shoe into any space in any part of the planet at any time. That's number one. Number two, we've built a tool, as we've just discussed, that can use vendor parts from around the world, different vendors. We're not stuck or tied to exactly building it the same way, but to do that is exceptionally complicated. We didn't make that just better, we made it different. And to do that, we had to make a device that itself was adaptable and agnostic. Last but not least, at the end of all of this, we have a tool that is designed to go around the world and work with the power that's available to us wherever that might be. Every country's got its own plug. Every company is struggling around the planet with how do I deal with this voltage or this amperage or this frequency. Well, we do. We planned it. That's part of what we built. So being able to go where the opportunity is, being able to flex and adapt whatever those problems in supply chain might be, and being able to feed a market of what they want to eat is really giving us a massive advantage. That's the disruption. And that, of course, is what we're going to be sharing a lot more details on in the weeks to follow.
I love to hear that. So for all of our investors and anyone viewing these videos, we love to hear from you guys. Any questions that you have, please do feel free to reach out to us. We pick up our phone. If we don't get you right away, we do call back. And also we answer our emails as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions that you have. And as always, we are always on our social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as the YouTube channel where we post our videos too. So please do make sure that if you're not already following any of those, that you do log into at least one of them so that you can keep up to date with our great momentum that we've been really building up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Time to put the mask back on. Great intermission of a very busy day as always, Colleen. Always a pleasure. Look forward to our next update next week.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.